Good morning, dear participants. My name is Dr. Manveer Singh. I am principal of NDSI school. Today, with you, Honorable Dr. Umashankar Shah, Vice Chancellor of Singhania University and Director of NDSI school. They have very rich experience of education, more than 45-year experience of education, and Speaker of Tuhin Mukherjee. He is my best friend. And finally, I will invite to Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee. Please welcome in your webinar, Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot, Manvirji. I am honored to be here and present the topic New Education Policy 2020. So should I start?
Yes, yes.
See, it's a long cherished dream that has come true, that our government has published the new education policy. This new education policy came after 34 years. Of the 34 years, means last it came in 1984, and there was no kind of the education policy or nothing actually came in between. So this is the kind of the policy that we are getting right now, and the objective of the policy to make India is a global powerhouse of knowledge. And there are a lot many steps has been taken to ensure that India becomes a knowledgeable country, and powerhouse of the knowledge in various areas. And moreover, the focus was given on the kind of the application side, as well as the structure of the education also has been changed. There is a tremendous kind of the improvement in the education policy regarding the directions, governance, affiliations, funding, everything. And a lot more stress was given on the kind of the funding, because earlier was only 1.7% of the GDP. Now, right now they are actually proposed to spend 6% GDP, which is a humongous amount. And we think that this kind of the amount, if it is spent on education, the education system or the education structure of our country will be developed, and we will actually get the benefit in coming years too. So yeah, the thing is that we are going to start this the kind of the formal presentation about the new education policy and how it has been drafted. So it was actually basically drafted by a committee, and Kasturi Rangam, the ISRO president, he was the main person who drafted the policy. The policy is very important regarding the direction in which our country is moving, because education is such a part that we cannot neglect, and our future lies on the education. There is a famous saying that if you want to destroy a country, you don't need to actually put an atom bomb. Just the thing is that you have to have the kind of the education system. If you do not have the education system, probably the thing is that you cannot actually prosper. So now the thing is that we come to the snapshot of the education policy. The new structure of the education policy has become 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So this is the kind of the structure. Earlier it was plus 10 plus 2, is because the 10th standard and 11th and 12th. This policy has become changed. Now it is the till 5th standard, then 8th standard, then 11th, and there is a graduation kind of, it could be 3 years or it could be 4 years. Now the 8th semester scheme from 9 to 12. 9 to 12, there could be a semester scheme. So they are not, it could be, it depends on the board or the state board also, but probably the thing is it has been proposed that it will be a semester scheme. And holistic education for all means till 2025. The holistic education means that there has to be an improvement for the all kind of the people, and the education should be taken in all round. So this is called the holistic education, and the preference will be given the 4 years bachelor degree, because in the Western countries and other areas the bachelor degrees are of the 4 years. So, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, am I audible, no?
Yes, yes.
Somebody is actually sending in the chat box that they are not actually able to hear. So the thing is that
Okay, okay,
they are,
I will see.
so, ask the actually I think they are not in mute. Ask them to unmute. The some people are there, they are not able to listen. I think you need to tell them unmute. So the thing is that the emphasis will be given on the mother tongue. Mother tongue means that there is a 3 language policies are given. So that emphasis will be given on the mother tongue, and the participation to the higher education must be 15%, 50% in till 2035. Board examination will be twice in a year, and the new education system will be evaluation system will be self-peer and the teachers. It is not only the teachers, they will evaluate the students, but it will be evaluation based on the student himself or the herself, their peers, and also the means the other kind of the peers and also the teachers. So this kind of the things will be followed. Please change the next slide. So another thing is that global knowledge superpower. So that NEP new education policy aims India to become a global superpower. The school complex will be used for the adult education after the school. That's one of the reason. And all school will be ICT enabled, means information the communication technology enabled. There will be entry and the exit also. Because the thing is that multiple entry and the exit will be there, because students actually can take the admission and after 1 or 2 years they credit bank. I'll come to the later in detail. And the participation to the higher education means there will be the things, and also the board means the board examination will be twice in a year, and the twice in a year. So this is kind of the education system is going to be followed, and there will be the COVID kind of the COVID has attacked our country unprecedentedly. So that is why that in this situation, the total the education policy or the session will be changed. It will be no more that a March, April, May. It will be on the September and the October, and the new education system is going to have this kind of the system. Please go to the next slide. Now the main important point is that how we are using it. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to be one of the major area where the evaluation will be based on the artificial intelligence. And National Assessment Center will also be there. We evaluate the students and everyone. There will be a National Assessment Center that is called the PARAK. And there will be no kind of the separation between the regular and the vocational course. That is one of the main important part. Because earlier there's a vocational course and the regular course, where the vocational course was not getting that kind of the weightage. But right now the thing is that there is no hardcore differentiation between the vocational and regular course. And minimum 10 days will be without back, because the students do not carry the bags at least 10 days in a year. And also they can pursue the PhD after 4 years, and no more there will be MPhil. MPhil is totally taken away from the system. Means after completing the graduation of the 4 years, directly they can pursue the PhD. So they are saving the time, and the autonomy will be given to the college to take the decision. That's one of the most important part. The autonomy that we are seeking, that college should be given the autonomy, and this is the part is going to get in this kind of the policy where the college can take their own decision. This is a very important matter. And the performance will be based on the 3 parameters. There will be A+ category, A and B. On the basis of the performance, the colleges will be graded on the three system, that is A+, A and B. Next one. The new education policy actually bringing the many changes in the country. The country actually is going to get revolutionized, because IITs generally, IIT Indian Institute of Technologies, they are generally known for the engineering streams, world famous there for the engineering streams. But now they are going to open other stream as well. The humanities are also going to be in the IITs. Private and the public sector education will be governed by the same kind of the policies and set of the regulations. There will be no differentiation between the government and the private schools or the institutions. So the thing is that the framework, this framework actually is important for all the education, because there will be a kind of the new structure that is followed. The private and the higher education will be governed by the same set of the rules and the regulations. There is balance artists but also are going to take the other students like the humanities. And there will be the many kinds of the infrastructure development. The total amount of the money that is pumped on the GDP is 6%, and that's a huge kind of the money. So that we are not getting, we are getting earlier 1.7%, and it was stretched up to kind of the 4%, but this is 6%, really kind of the figure that India is going to get 6% of the GDP of the fund in the education system. And this is kind of the state and the union territories will set up the kind of the a framework that is called the State School Standard Authority, and the SCERT will advance an assessment system for the school quality and the accreditation framework with the recommendation from the all stakeholders. So this is a kind of the policy that is going to make a difference in the in coming years, in the future for the school education system as far as it is concerned. The next slide, please. Now the thing is that main important part is language. The thing is that it was a long demand from the various parts of our country that it taught in the mother tongue. So that is why that should be language. One is Hindi, one is English, and another is the local or the mother tongue kind of the things. This is called the three language policy that implemented. Apart from that, there could be also kind of that will be at least the 5th grade, and after that it will be stretched up to the 8th or above also. So means that we are giving the priority to the mother tongue, and it has been seen that if somebody learns from the mother tongue, they learns better. Actually, वो बहुत अच्छा सीखता है if they are actually kind of the taught in the mother tongue. And that is how that, but the thing is that India is a vast country. There are so many languages are there, more than the 8, more than so many languages. So there has to be a proper translation. So that is why that for proper translation of the language, there is another kind of the means bodies they are going to set up, which will convert or the translate all the languages also, means vernacular or the regional language. So 3 language policy is very important regarding that fact. Come to the next. So this is the Indian Institute of the Translation and Interpretation. That is proposed. The new education policy proposed the setting up the Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation, and also laying the emphasis on the Sanskrit and other Indian language. There will be emphasis on the Sanskrit language as well, apart from the means the regional language. So I have covered this slide. So next slide. Now this is a sign language. Sign language is one of the important language that has to be developed. In IOS to develop the high quality of the modules for the Indian sign language. Sign language is very important because regarding the education, means primary education, people means students should know what kind of the signs are being used, and it is also for the physically special kind of the children. Also, this is very important. So science language is going to be going to play a very important role. Various new provisions for the children with the disabilities. The children with having the disabilities or the special kind of the children, there will be numerous kind of the facilities will be imparted, and the government is ensuring the kind of policy to impart the education, and they should be treated at par with the other kind of other students. So new higher education policy to support the educators and the disability training and the resources also. Manviji, next slide. Next slide. So that this is a very important factor. This is the very important factor that multiple entry. This is the most factor. This is a multiple entry and the exit. We aim to keep loss environment by 35. There will be multiple exits. This is a very important point that we understand. This can lead situation any kind of the course with plate. They are from the course, and their credit goes to credit bank. After some time, after 1 year or 2 year, important part that education policy is focusing on. So that this is a kind of the credit bank. Credit bank, it was never been used earlier in our Indian system. The students can actually enter any kind of the education system, and without completing the education system, they can leave. And so they can rejoin. Their credit will be stored in the credit bank, and when they will rejoin, at that time that credit bank credit will be also counted. This is a kind of the system. It is followed in the other Western countries, and also it has not been followed in India. The thing is that this kind of system is going to work. It's a very important points that the students need to continue the course. It is discontinue in between. Now the National Committee for the Integration of the Vocational Education. This is the most important part because there is no hard kind of the separation between the vocational and regular course. Earlier, what I have seen that regular course and the vocational course was not getting that kind of the standard or the respect in our society as compared to the regular course. But right now the regular course and the vocational course both are going to be in the same parameter. Now come to the next slide. Another thing is that main important part, if we say that we have so far discussed the kind of the structure and the policies, but the thing is that main important part is the content. Content should be very innovative content, because earlier what I have seen that people generally used to learn and they used to write in the examination. But this kind of the policy is giving emphasis on the critical thinking. The content will be much better, and the content will be much more application oriented. So content will be idea based, application, and the problem solving. The mandated content will focus on the key concept, ideas, application, problem solving, teaching, and the learning. So this is a very important part. Curriculum content to be reduced. Earlier there was a heavy content and the students actually could not complete everything before the exam. So right now the content will be reduced and it will be more application oriented and problem solving. There's a thrust on critical thinking, how they are going to solve the practical issues. The content will be based on that. I think this kind of the policy is really revolutionary, and this policy is going to make the India is a really knowledge superpower in coming years. Next slide. So now the preparatory class for the brain development, that is one of the main important issues. The brain development, because we have not seen the government schools taking that kind of the steps earlier. Because our school in government school used to start at the class, at the age of the 6, but the brain of children are getting developed at the when they are in the age of 3. So that is why that they need a preparatory class for the brain development. That is why that prior to the age of 5, every children will move to the preparatory class, that is the Valvatika, and it will be governed, or it will be actually taken care by the early child care education expert teacher. They will take care how to develop the brain, because at the age of the 3, students, any kind of the children, their brain is getting developed. So we need to actually get them into the education system at that age. So they should enter in education system before the age of 5. And nutrition, health card, everything, and so that they are all the other aspects will be taken care of, and there will be less dropout from the school, because this is the kind of the problem that India is facing. There's a huge number of the dropouts, so we need to decrease this dropout rate, and health card, nutrition, and all other facilities should be extended. National mission on the foundation, literacy, and numeracy will be set up by MHRD. Then MHRD means Ministry of Human Resource and Development. So there will be kind of the foundation that will be set up, and that will be based on the literacy, means foundation, literacy, and the numeracy. Next slide. Now the examination system, that is one of the most important part. How do we actually develop the examination system? Earlier examination system was means once in a year. So this kind of the examination system was giving thrust on the kind of the content. There is no application, no critical thinking. But now this examination system is going to be annual, semester, and the modular kind of the system, where the state also can decide what kind of the system they can follow. So there is a kind of flexibility of the state government. They actually kind of the formulate what kind of system education means examination system they are going to follow. And the most important part, there will be less weightage on the 10th and 12th annual exam. So the students are not going to get much actually means kind of the pressure because of the exams. The earlier what else in the students are too much pressurized when they are facing the board exam in 10th and 12th standard, but that kind of the system is getting away. NTA to offer the common entrance test. NTA is National Testing Agency. This is a national testing agency. One body will be created which will actually means offer the high quality common aptitude test as well as the specialized subject exams in science, humanities, arts, means other arts, languages and other vocational subjects at least twice in a year to enter in the university. So that NTA national test going to make a very crucial role to get the students admission in the university. There will be standardization. Earlier there was no standardization because each university was having different kind of the policy to enter, but with this kind of the policy there could be a standardization, and the NTA National Testing Authority means agency will determine the standards of the examination to enter any kind of the university for higher education. I really appreciate this kind of the means approach, because earlier there was no standard approach. Now everything is going to be standard on the basis of the same parameter. So Manviji, next slide. Now the 360-degree holistic approach, appraisal. Students, how the students are going to get evaluated. Earlier only was the examination, the marks. Later on it came the grade. But that is not a whole thing. It is going to get evaluated by student himself, then the teachers and the peers. All these people are going to evaluate the performance, and all the subject marks and the other critical inputs are also going to get evaluated. So this is called the 360-degree approach. It was never been done in education system in India. Basically, this is a kind of the corporate system that is followed the performance appraisal, but same kind of the system is being actually implemented in Indian education system. Importance of the board examination is going to actually reduce. There could be a twice.
Now the regulatory bodies under one umbrella. Now there are many regulatory bodies earlier. Now HECI, Higher Education Commission of India, will be there, and that will regulate all the education system. So there will be the only one regulatory body under which all the other regulations all other regulatory body will be there under one umbrella. And there will be the 4 verticals. One is that first one is the National Higher Education Regulatory Council for regulation, General Education Council for standard setting, Higher Education Grants Council for funding, and National Accreditation Council for accreditation. And the minimum qualification for the teaching will be 4 years integrated B.Ed degree. A new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for the teachers education NCFTE 2021 will be formulated by NCTE in consultation with NCERT by 2030. Minimum degree qualification for the teaching will be 4 years degree integrated B.Ed degree, and the stringent action will be taken against the sustained standard substandard standalone teachers education institutions. Professional standard for the teachers will be set up, and a collective professional standards to be developed for the teachers, namely National Professional Standards for Teachers, to be formulated by the National Council for the Teachers Education till 2022, with the recommendation from the NCERT, SCERT, teachers and the expert from the organization across levels and the regions. State and the union territories set up an independent state school standard authority. SCERT will advance in assessment system on the school quality and the accreditation framework with the recommendation of all stakeholders. One large multidisciplinary institution or the near every district will be set up by 2030. National new economic plan, new education policy aims at the setting up the one large disciplinary multidisciplinary institution across the country and that will be established at least one district. all higher education institute become multidisciplinary, and including the IITs also will open the door for the various other kinds of the courses like the humanities. Minimum qualification of the teachers will be 4 years integrated B.Ed degree. Now the changes in the higher education. Undergraduate degree course to have the multiple exit option. There will be multiple entry and exit, and the students can actually leave the course in between, and their credits will be stored. Their credits will be stored in the credit bank. IIT is to become multidisciplinary institution, opening the doors for the other courses also, and the academic bank will be will be set up, and that will store the academic credit points of all students. Now the foreign participation, that is also very important. International students office at the each institution hosting foreign students. This new policy aims at the proportion of the India as a global study destination, providing the premium education at affordable cost. An international student office at each institution hosting foreign students will be set up. Best university to set up the campuses in India, and the Indian university can set up the college in foreign land also. So that is the main important part, where the best Indian university can set up their own campuses in abroad, and top 100 universities across the world can set up their branches in India as well. Digitization, this is a very important part. E-content in the regional language. There will be e-content in the regional language apart from the English and Hindi. E-course to be in the 8 major languages, not just in Hindi and English. And the tech-based option will be for the adult learning through apps, TV and channels, and all the school will be ICT based, means information and the communication technology based. Dedicated unit for the digital and the online learning will be there, and that it will be created MHRD to look the e-education needs of the both school and the higher education. National scholarship portal should be will be established for SC, ST, OBC, ACDG students, for the ACDG students. Then efforts will be made to incentivize the merit of the students belonging to the SC, ST, OBC and other categories, and national scholarship portal will expand to support them. Now the financial autonomy. The financial autonomy will be granted 45,000 colleges, and the autonomy will be under graded autonomy, academic autonomy, administrative and financial autonomy. And the evaluation will be based on the basis of the performance, and it will be A plus, A and B category. And earlier I told that the higher GDP participation will be there, because it aims that 6% of the GDP will be actually pumped into the education system in India, which is very much revolutionary. Now that the NCC wings and the benefits to the marginalized people. NCC wings in the secondary and the higher secondary schools under the Ministry of the Defense will be set up, and the state government may encourage opening the NCC wings in their secondary and higher secondary school. There will be free boarding facilities under the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, particularly for the students who are from the economic disadvantages background. So this is overall the new education policy of the India, means new education policy 2020. This means the aim of this education policy is to make India a knowledge superpower, and we are very much optimistic that the government has taken right step to make our future very bright, and in future India will become the global knowledge hub in terms of the knowledge, capacity, skills, and the demographic development will pay off in a very good way. Thank you. This is the kind of thank you.
Actually, this new education policy has a big thrust upon developing the faculties of all the students, their capacities, and turning them into better citizens of India. developing their sense of patriotism, practice creative activities, practicing temple, and all the other beautiful things in that. And this education policy will ease the process of education for students by lessening the workload, by lessening, decreasing the weight of the bags, and providing multiple entry and multiple exit systems, which will be a great benefit to our students. In fact, the digital education is very important nowadays, and I would like to tell all the participants that our Honorable Chancellor Sir, Dr. Distt Singhania, had made us to start this digital education about 7 years back, and we have been following the process of digital education, and this trust-based credit system also we had implemented that years back. But as a national policy, it is fine to have in the entire nation, and I hope that students will be benefited by it, and the number of dropouts from the schools will also decrease due to it, and those hardships which students faced due to this uh, fractured education system divided into parts of science, arts, and commerce will now be benefited as it has become an integrated, holistic system of education. So I'm thankful to Mr. Mukherjee for coming to us on our invitation and delivering his speech regarding the education policy. Thank you so much. Thank you all the participants who have been listening to very attentively. Of course, some network problem was there for some time, but we have overcome that technical problem, and we shall be uploading this video on YouTube also. Those who could not listen to it fully well, they can just listen from this YouTube. Enjoy. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Okay.